Hey guys, so you were watching this after roadkill, but this is in the middle of roadkill prep. There's Aaron working on his car, there's Will working over on his car. And there's another Black 5 Series, but it's not an E34, this is an E60. I have a lot of projects. I don't know if you've seen a video of all those yet. I purchased this car to fulfill some of those needs.
This is an M5.
This is an E60 M5. S85 with a 5-liter V10. This one, it's locked up and has a ton of metal in the oil. I'm guessing catastrophic rod bearing failure. Doesn't seem to be any holes in the block though. So I will hopefully be using this engine after a full rebuild and probably adding a different crankshaft for another project down the line. But also in the meantime, before that though, there's another one of those screws. We found one of those in the truck tire yesterday. But I'm going to be taking the brakes off this car, the diff and axles off of this car, probably the steering wheel, and I'm also thinking the clutch. And I'm going to put all of these on my 6 Series. So, yeah, just a quick update. Maybe that'll even be part of this video. So, in this video, you will see me install the brakes and the clutch and the diff and the axles and everything. So, all right, so quick info session here. So this is an E60 BMW. This happens to be an M5, but the E60 is the 5 Series from 2004 to 2010, okay? They also made an E61, that was the wagon. This is about the time where BMW started changing the chassis code depending on how many doors the car had. So the other car that we're taking parts to put on is an E63. So that is a 2004 to 2010 6 Series. So, and then the convertible version of that was called an E64. They are very similar cars in the way they're constructed and their platform. The big difference for swapping parts though is that the 5 Series is about 4 inches longer in the wheelbase department. I think overall the cars are about the same because the 6 Series has a really, really long nose in front of the front wheels. So for moving things over, like the diff that I want to move, I'm thinking about taking the center section of this exhaust because the design is the same, but it has much bigger pipes on the V10s. Mine is a V8 model. Mine's a 645. But the flange size is pretty similar, so people make it work. They take this center section. The difference there is this has cats here and in the headers, whereas the V8 cars only have cats in the headers. So I would be deleting these cats, straight piping here. These have an X pipe, a crossover pipe right there. It makes them sound good, and a much smaller resonator. So also the E60s have giant dual mufflers.
Yeah, those are massive.
On the M5, you get both sides. On any of the other models, you only get these 2 mufflers, and the battery is actually over here. So it's very difficult to add dual exhaust to a non-M5 on these. I figure when I cut this here, I might be able to take the inches out that I need to make it shorter if I'm going to use this center section. I can take it out here, or I might have to take it out in a different spot depending on how I'm going to mount this bracket. I'll figure that out. I'm okay if I have to do a little bit of fab work. And then the other part is the drive shaft. So this diff is the Lsd diff. The only way to get an Lsd in these later cars from the factory was in the M cars. It wasn't like early cars where you could get it. So the input flange of the differential is slightly farther forward than the non-M cars. So you need the M specific drive shaft. And again, I just told you that they are different lengths. So the M5 drive shaft will be too long for my 6 Series. So I don't know if I'm going to, one, buy an M6 rear section on eBay or something, take this drive shaft and have it shortened, or take the existing drive shaft in my car and have it shortened. But one of those solutions will be there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all ripped apart. If there's anything else interesting on taking apart this car today, I will let you know, but probably not. So I'll probably see you in a few seconds when I'm either taking the brakes or the steering wheel or something else off, but it won't be today. All right, guys, so fast forward a month. A month?
A month.
A month. Okay. So back from roadkill, and I'm starting to do a little bit of work on this pig. So brake rotor from the 645 is gone. That's the M5 one that's going on. But for comparison, over here, I have the two right next to each other. So here's the e63 non-M rotor. And then, let's see there.
That's a big difference right there.
And here is the M rotor. It's about an inch bigger, I guess. You can still clear 18s with these, which is cool, so you don't have to run 19s. I'll probably be running 19s or 20s on this car. These are 19s, but these don't strike me as like track wheels, so I might move on to something
Yeah, this
else.
is the track beast.
Yes, this is going to be the heavy luxury track mobile. We're going to see what it can do. So we're going to take as much parts off that E60 M5 that you guys saw earlier, throw it at this. So today I'm putting brakes on. I think that might be all I do today. The clutch has started to slip in this car, and
Shocking.
did we tell them about the? I don't think you know. So the M5, which I didn't know, but the SMG is a twin disc clutch. So I'm going to try and make that work with the regular manual. So far, all I've checked is the spline of the input shaft is exactly the same. So the transmission will engage it, but I need to figure out now the throw out bearing and pivot fork and to see if all that, the distance is all the same to make it actually operate with the pedal. So that'll be happening soon, but it's kind of late today, so probably not today. Big brake upgrade, E63.
Budget? Budget breakup? No. Yeah.
This stuff's not super expensive online on eBay. For some reason, a lot of the E60 M5 stuff isn't expensive. I don't know. Like I think I might move the steering wheel over because it's nicer. It's kind of weird though because it's SMG, so it's got paddles and an M button that's not going to do anything. But also the cluster is like worth $100. Like they're not really an expensive piece. So
I think it's like people are less enthusiast about certain things as it's like a newer car.
Or maybe they just sold a ton of them.
Yeah.
So it's
could be
like
that.
there's just a lot out there. People flood the market. But this is definitely an upgrade that I will feel. And my brake light came on. It also leaks a bunch of oil and maybe coolant, I noticed. I've never done any maintenance to this car. It was my wife's car. I love my wife. I just didn't do anything. I might have to do like regular work to it too. But either way, brake time. And so we made a video a long time ago with a car that looked just like this one. It was Diego's car. And he was getting coilovers installed. The video's right here if you want to see how to install coilovers on these. Or up there. Yeah, it would be up right there. Right there.
Roundabout.
So a former employee that we had let his decided he was going to paint the calipers. So took them off the car to paint them and let it drain for like a really long time, like a day. So because of that, the ABS module and pump drained itself completely. And when that happens, you can't just bleed the brakes because the module needs to bleed, and there's all those different lines, and there's nothing that actuates those lines. So you gotta get one of the BMW scan tools or an expensive Snap-on one or whatever that can send the proper sequence to it. I don't want that to trip very long, but I think I'm gonna get the rotor first. But anyway, we couldn't bleed Diego's brakes, so we had to have Zach come over and run the bleed procedure. So we're not gonna do that on this. I'm going to quickly put it on.
I noticed you got into a rush mode the moment that came off. Good info to know. Also, why this is a good track car? Plastic.
Yes.
Weight reduction.
E60s have plastic shit for no reason.
So those are the fronts.
Fronts are on, not bled, but on. One thing that was different, I will show you. Non-M rotor, one caliper screw, or
Set screw.
set screw for the rotor set screw. M5, two rotor set screws. 1, 2. So the bummer part about that is the ones on the M5 were all like pretty toast and stripped, and actually to drill some of them out, that's like where there's like shavings in that hole. These ones that fit there are much bigger and do not fit there. So no set screw in those right now. I'll probably just order some online, but they're not going on today. So I'm moving on to the rear.
All about that rear.
The thing I'm gonna have to do on the rear, actually, come back when I have it off and I'll show you. So I was saying before about, I'll show you in a second, Hamish forgot to come back for that wheel, but he came for this one, so we're good. I can show you. So this rotor fits just inside that dust shield. For some reason, a lot of cars, the rear is like this. It like cups over the rotor, but in the fronts, they're always flat. So when you put big brakes on the front of your car, you just put it on. But the rear, it always hits. So you put on new rotor, and it...
Oh no.
Yeah. So I have... Be right back. I'm back. So I have safety things. Here, you're welcome, honey. And a grinder thing, and I got this. Now, you can take your time and do that a lot prettier, but the rotor covers it all. So then as a final thing though,
Thanks for the warning on that.
the final thing, if you live back east or you're gonna drive your car in the winter and there's salt, just paint over the bare metal. Yeah.
This is a Pro Tech tip
Yep.
by DBO Chris himself.
Yep. You're welcome. And then when you put your rotor back on, no bad noises.
Beautiful.
That was your important tip of the day.
So Chris's, we couldn't find any brake fluid really off the bat, but we did find some high performance .3 for a modern car. Don't they take like .5?
Okay. So do you guys... Hamish clear doesn't know. With the different DOT numbers, it's pretty much just the point that they boil. So the higher the number, the higher the boiling point. That's why track brake fluid is like .5. And then...
Well, this is a track build, dude.
So we're gonna see if we can boil the brakes with .3 before I put in like some Motul .5, some good stuff.
And if we die because the brakes fail, whatever.
We're just not gonna fail, they're
I'm
just gonna
giving
like
you shit,
fade.
man.
So yeah,
that explains why they're backward compatible.
like where you can put .4 and .3, but you can't the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can because we're doing it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like it's a different fluid, it's gonna corrode and eat things. It's not like that.
But yeah, you can see brake there. There is a brake there. There is a brake there. And there is...
There's a Chris here.
There's Chris fix here. And there is a brake there.
So it's funny because this thing
jack
looks
here.
like really nice from up here, but man, it is like leaky looking underneath it.
We're using .3, but like how much did you lose swapping it out?
Not much. And I plan on flushing it all with good stuff at some point.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to drive home.
Yeah.
So, more BMW awesomeness. They already started doing this crap on E39s, but they like cover
Reservoirs.
they cover all of the shit with like
Leaves.
yeah. With the fucking cabin air filters. Like
Wait, really?
yeah. So like the DME is under that cabin air filter. So you gotta like pull those out and then oh, and it's fucking bolted in too. Yeah, so it's like I can't just like check my brake fluid. I have to like disassemble my car.
That's why there's electronic checks, right?
I don't think for brake fluid. I mean, I guess there's a
little light.
The light that says when you're low. Yeah. Is that a... All right. So, car's on the ground. Hamish and I bled the brakes. Now, I'm gonna go home. So, that wraps it up for this installment of 6 Series track prep.
What's our plan next time this car comes around?
I want to start working on the diff is one thing and figuring out the drive shaft. I haven't decided yet if I just want to buy an M6 rear section or if I just want to take my existing drive shaft because it just needs to be shortened and get the measurement and take it to a drive shaft shop. Just have it done so I don't have to buy anything. But then I lose this one, whatever. So I need to decide on that. I want to see about fitting the M5 clutch onto it. So, but when this stuff starts happening, this car is going to sit on the lift until it's done, because then I can't drive it after that. So, which was thinking about being today, but a bunch of people came by. We did some other stuff. I also want to switch up the wheels. I think the Style 95s look very good on it, but they are not super track-y. They're really heavy, and
They don't look too sporty.
yeah, they're not very sporty. These are 7 Series wheels, by the way. I do have some like BBS LM reps that I could run. Some ESRs that are real cheap. Some 20-inch ones that might look good. I also have the M5 wheels, but again, they look good, but they're kind of understated. So maybe that's good, maybe it's not. I don't know. But if I can sell these things, I'd rather do that and just buy some cheap wheels. So if I break them, I just buy more cheap wheels. And I want to get coilovers for it. I'm leaning towards BC Racing ones. I think they're about $1,000 for it. Would really love some KWs, but I don't know if I can justify like $2,700 for a car that I barely ever drive. We'll see. Exhaust stuff. I want to merge this exhaust with the M5 exhaust.
I think we saw that at the start of the video.
Yeah, I think I talked about that. I've also, since that video, because that was like a month, or that part of the video, that was a month ago, I'm thinking about maybe getting the M5 front and then maybe taking it to John Vigil over at VA Engineered to get a rear section made with mufflers to make it quiet, and then also some electric cutouts. So then if I want to be obnoxious, I just flip a switch and just like, brub, 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 you know. So this car was really cheap, like well under $5,000 cheap. It's a 6-speed factory car, has like 180,000 miles on it, doesn't have valve seal issues. Like, I just want to see what this thing can do. So
I think it's gonna be cool. It's a cool chassis too. Like, it's good looking. It'll look awesome on a track too.
yeah, and nobody expects it.
Yeah, it'd be like a sleeper track animal.
And I don't know if you guys are BMW people, a lot of people are like hit or miss on these cars. They think they look really cool or they're really ugly. Somewhere in the middle of that. But the one thing you can't argue is they don't look old. Like, this is a 2004. Like, this car is 16 years old and it doesn't look like it.
Cool.
All right.
Danke for watching. Give like and subscribe.
What he said.